question for you. If you are in a leadership position in the veterinary profession or thinking about developing in that direction, do you think intuition has its place in leadership? Most people I have asked so far have said yes, it does. But when I've questioned them a little bit further, it appears that most are referring to trusting their intuition and hunches when it comes to just the day to day decisions. What about the big stuff, though? What about when the hard evidence and data say one thing, but your intuition is telling you something completely different? And in these situations, I think leaders are taught to trust data and logic. After all, there are stakeholders involved who will hold you accountable for your decisions. But I do wonder why it is so hard to trust ourselves. And I do think that many of us are not taught to trust that inner voice because our parents didn't know how to, and our parents were taught not to. In scientific fields such as veterinary, you are taught evidence-based medicine, and intuition doesn't give you cold, hard evidence. It's abstract, it's invisible, it's intangible, it's a feeling, it's a knowing. And it takes a tremendous amount of courage and conviction to stand up and stand out for making an intuitive decision, because what if you're wrong? There's a lot at stake. Your reputation, your job, other people's jobs, pets' lives. There's fear of judgment, rejection, mockery, fear of loss. It underpins a lot of actions and behaviors more than we know. But imagine what the veterinary profession would look like if, up until this point, more people had listened to, trusted, and courageously followed what their intuitive self was nudging them to see or to do. So many things have remained the same in the veterinary profession for so long because it's just the way things have always been done, right? And if you dare to suggest differently, you could be scoffed at. But time's changing. Things like emotional intelligence are being more widely understood and accepted. And I don't think intuitive intelligence is far behind. Giving your internal guide a voice and giving it space to be heard rather than reacting quickly and listening only to the voices of others, it will transform your leadership. I love using intuition to guide my leadership. I've made many business decisions and leadership decisions that go against data and logic because it just felt right. Sometimes I was right. A lot of times I was right. And other times I was wrong, but it always led to something even more wonderful. So the first thing wasn't meant for me in the first place. Intuition is there to serve you if you will let it. Now, if you'd like to give intuition more of a voice in your leadership, here are 3 tips to get you started. The first tip is to start small and have fun. Start using your intuition to make small decisions in your day-to-day life, such as what to have for lunch that day or which route to take home if there's more than one way to get home. The second tip is to be present. Be still. In order to notice the often subtle and fleeting guidance of your intuition, your mind has to be quiet enough to pay attention. Not all the time, you're busy, but you've got to have times where you're really in tune with yourself. And my third tip is to record your successes. So keep a diary of all the times you listened to your intuition and it was right, because this is a really helpful record to refer back to when you're doubting yourself or having an off day. So what do you think? Does intuition have its place in leadership? And I'm curious to ask if you've ever been guided to make quite a big decision that became a real defining moment for you.